Hello. Can you guys hear me all right? Yeah. Just pretty good. Okay. So, like Stella said, I'm working on my thesis right now, and I'm gonna read a few from my thesis that are kind of in progress. They're not complete, but they're getting there. And a couple from my books, which you can find on Amazon. So the thesis, like I said, it centers around family, specifically a lot about my mom, whose name is Delia, and the thesis is going to be called Delia, and this is the title track. Delia. I once prodded at her belly button, my skin, my mother's skin, Delia. She fed me with her bones, I leached, took her calcium, I took her time, remote control flying through the air, rebellious daughter, that's the extent of it. And she remembers this because there's only a cramped space between her scalp and time, between her roots and time, between her braids and me. My mind, silver and soot. I can't pry open this locket where I've tucked away childhood, as though I can replace it. I've lost it all to green-stained fingers, but my mother can find anything. The world demands orchards from my earth, although they remain unnatural. I am, claro que sí, with my gay roots and agony in the branches. Guárdame en tus alas, ave voladora. The morning dove makes its nest in my trunk, where the syrup of promised mirth gathers and crystallizes. El demonio vive de mi delirio y hondura. It's fire, it's fine, it's fine, it's fire. I will spread heridas sin cura, espinas, tierra and water flood the fields, caked in mud, ghosts. En las trenzas espero que las estrellas me ilumine, newborn feet sprout in the moonlight. Salgo de noche, loba en la cena. But even la tucana covers sus ojos. I dress the table, puñal en el seno. I'm devouring meat beneath trees, con el filo de mi colmillo. But I can't fit forgiveness through my teeth. Yeah. And this is another one from the thesis that's kind of in work in progress. It's called What is a Life? A small loan, at least 100 sleepless nights, a perpetual trip to the liquor store to get milk for your mom, an antique, an experiment composed of failures, a drop of oxygen in drowning lungs, 2 phantom limbs you can't decipher, 1,000 languages in your brain when your mouth can't play polyglot, white noise in your stomach, clarity under your lover's tongue, brittle bricks along your spine, a series of successes and almost and going tos, trying and trying and trying, superstition, your arms and teeth and braces, your smile begging to be released, your reflection on the surface, your hand timidly in the deep, the moment you plunge in, a fever, a slow crawl, claws, time, don't forget time. So this is from my very first book, which was called Moonride, and this poem is called Music as Prayer. I believe God lives in the veins of my hands. She flows closely, always just beneath my skin. I believe she speaks to me through music. I believe certain beat breaks call my name. There are ballads with her breath, clinging to the singer's pain. God is love, but God knows what it is to hurt. She cups your face through your mother's hands. She is the heat in your favorite cup of tea traveling to your stomach. After each and every emotional breakdown, she hears you. She lives so close to you. She pulses inside your wrists, sometimes shutting your eyes and listening to her serenade you through every beat in your body as she flows. Is just like hearing her sing your name. This is from, excuse my French, it's called We Need Bad Bitches. This is the second book that I have on Amazon, and it's called What's the Word? What's the word for looking to your past self with bloody tongue and what feels like gum in your fists? How do you best describe regret? Is there a cure for nostalgia? Can I live right knowing my past self ran so many red lights? Is there a drug that brings back your dead? Can I ever be returned to childlike immortality? The rush, jumping into the deep, living blissfully underwater, brushing off scars and mud and summer rain and coming home to the blues? Is there a word for realizing I wasted the good times waiting for them to be over? Wanting so badly to outgrow the dissonance, heave the youth from my body. Now I dry heave, the ghost of youth still trying to escape as I desperately try to recapture it. Trap it in my grips, return it to my hips. I try to squeeze into my jelly shoes, the memories of blisters and sandy yards revive the skin on my feet. I pray for acid or smoke or something to dissolve regret. I'm writing letters to my willpower. I'm serenading my gut, begging it to stop aching, hollering at the mirror, it's not over. It's called Alive. Folks live overjoyed under mountains of their own teeth and laughter before returning to their bodies. Sometimes with searching looks beneath blankets of lashes, reading, observing, quietly studying, lost. Sometimes the sun hits their eyes like gold shellac, or they squint and a million tiny crow's feet come alive. This is when they're most beautiful, when nothing stands in the way of the moment and their mind, the most innate breath, the purest, the uninhibited, when their focus dashes from self to the moment and they are liberated enough to be. 7 billion people walk the earth, inhabiting bodies, breathing lungs, crooked teeth, nervous systems, thick glasses, shaking hands, belching, yawning, and sleepy greetings, acid reflux and dreams. 7 billion living, and they have no idea how beautiful they are just for being alive. This is the first poem I wrote in Sam Piersdorf's class when I first started writing poetry. So, and of course it's been revised a lot. It's about my dad, who was right there, and he can't speak English, so I'll translate later. But it's called My Father King Kong. As a child, my afternoons were spent waiting for my father when he'd come home, caked in sweat and cement. He'd call us over to take his shoes off. My siblings and I would gather at his feet like we were getting ready to wash them. My tiny fingers would struggle to undo the laces. The smell of alcohol and his breath would fill the house. That house, a tiny shell, our first in Modesto, earwax yellow. Inside, the wallpaper only a fool would mistake for real wood, peeling. It was sliding closet doors I'd get my hair caught in. A mirror on that door where I made faces or watched my siblings' reflections argue about who got to be Mario next. That house, the one our father drank in, and where he stretched his paycheck to raise us on $1.50 and a Snickers bar. My ultimate comfort during those years was when my father would hoist me up into his sun-charred arms that built walls before the sun rose. In LA, they called him King Kong. And I guess I did feel like a tiny thing in his arms as I'd study the dirt road. He'd never scaled the Empire State though, or the Golden Gate. Pressed images of his boots all over San Jose. Imprints in concrete, fingerprints in drywall. Beyond our front gate, my nose buried in his neck where the smell of Old Spice aftershave toppled over me, brick by brick. And the book. We need bad bitches. The bad bitches, the mean ones with thorn tongues and bad attitudes. These are the women who have dragged me out of bed. They're the guiding light bulb at the end of my arm. They're the middle finger to every voice that said I can't. Timid girls need bad bitches. We tend to live curled beneath our tongues. A bad bitch's mouth runs laps. I palm the top of my head with their bad bitch water. Let them baptize me, say their bad bitch sermons. And I pray with open jaws that I learn to slap the doubt out of my system. I run free, reign free because of them. Rhythm greets my bones because of them. Every word I speak is mine because of them. Every sad girl needs a bad girl that'll spit on her reservations. Thank you. Thank you.